Hey everyone, it's Lisa Davis from Lisa Davis Body Construction. Today I'm going to do a workout on the beach. And you can do this workout with me on a beach or anywhere you are. The strength exercises for building muscle and maintaining muscle will not require any equipment, but I do have a yoga mat that I'm jump roping on and for cushioning later. But obviously you can do this workout without jumping rope first, and that's just optional. So I always like to do jump rope for my warm-up, and today I did a bunch of jump rope. Mostly I was just kind of practicing things that I'm weak at, which is a lot of stuff. But I enjoy it, and I think it's fun, and it's a really good workout. So not only did it warm me up, but gave me some time to kind of enjoy the scenery and practice. I've been a certified fitness professional for 37 years, but now that I'm in my mid-50s, I'm realizing how important building and maintaining skeletal muscle really is, not just to look better and be stronger, but also for our cognitive functions and other things that they're studying more and more lately. So most of my workouts really focus on strength training. And today's workout is going to have stuff that we do with our body weight that can be very, very intense. And I'll show different variations. Sometimes the thing I'll be doing is the most intense version, but I'll show some B-roll that has the options that you can make it easier or harder with, depending on the thing that I'm doing. On these exercises, we're going to try to do at least 8 to 10 reps, and we'll go through it 3 times. So then, of course, I always like to do the jump rope and add the cardio for more calorie burn, but that part's optional. Okay, this first exercise I call a side-lying hip raise in a star position. And this is the most intense version of this one. Sometimes I'm not real great at counting. Most of the time, I'm really not very great at counting. I usually do too many. But so you try to lift your hip as you're lifting your leg. And here I am with one hand on the ground. And then we're going to do the other side. So try to do between 8 and 10. It's pretty intense. And then I'm going to show a couple of options here that can make it a little bit easier if this is too intense to do that many reps for you. Okay, there's kind of a lot of choices. Here I'm showing that I'm on my knee instead of my foot, and my top leg is also bent. If you want that a little bit more intense, straighten out the top leg, but stay on your knee, balancing. Or you can have your top leg down completely and just do the hip raise that way. And all of these exercises are multi-joint exercises, meaning that we're going to move more than one joint and work the muscles in various joints. So you can see here my hip is lifting, so I'm using that area, my shoulder is moving, and I'm using a lot of different muscles in the body. Alright, so this next one is mainly lower body, but it's very intense for your cardio. So we're going to go into a deep squat. Some of my squats are deeper than others here, but you want to go as deep as you can and then pop up. And I've got my hands together on this, but I call it, just a pop squat. But squat as deep as you can, really working through multi-joints as I talked about. Another option is to not bend as deep. So this is about a 90-degree bend in my knee, and I still hopped. But even hopping is optional. I kind of showed that for a second in the insert, but the hop is optional. And then if you really want to go for it, you're going to squat down and come up into what I call an X jump. So you're going to kick your feet out to the side after squatting down as low as you can. And that's obviously going to be the most intense of these options. Okay, we're going to go back down to more of an upper body exercise, and this is called a Spider-Man push-up. And people sometimes think that these look harder than they are, and this is actually not the hardest of the options. But I like how it uses not just your chest and shoulders, but also it engages the core as you pull your knee in. And I think I didn't count correctly here. I did more than 10, but that's kind of how I roll. On all of these options, you want to get your chest as low as you can, and it is harder to get it down on that first option that I showed a second ago. You can get it lower on this one because you don't have your knee coming in the way or over to the side, but this is possibly a little easier as far as the leg portion, but it might not actually be easier as far as the push-up portion goes. I'm getting clear down, trying to keep the spine in alignment, and then alternating one leg and then the other. So I'm pulling that up and out to the side, and since I'm not on my toes, that's pretty intense to do for the core. Now you could go on your toes before pulling your knee up in, and that's an option as well. And then you have some choices here. You can do a full push-up and then some knees pulling in like that, or you could do kind of the Spider-Man thing, and I did one on each side there. Or you could just do one side and then a push-up and then the other side, which definitely would be the most intense of those options. Our next one is a mini tricep dip with a toe touch. And there I kind of did 2 dips in a row. But it's not a very big tricep dip there. Some people can't really do these very well because they have just their anatomy, their booty can't lift up. But do your best, and there's some options you could do to change it. I'll show some options here in a minute. But I did all on one side, so one dip, touch the opposite toe. And you can see that my fingers are facing forward. That's very important. You don't want them to face out to the side, or definitely don't want them facing back. So have them face the same way you're facing so that your elbows are bending backwards. Okay, this next option is easier than that first one. Instead of balancing on one side and touching the other toe, I'm balancing on both heels. And again, the elbows point backwards as they bend and your hands point forwards. It still requires your booty to lift off the ground, so if you struggle with that, you might need to be on a bit of a ledge, or you could have your hands on some sort of a raised surface that would lift your upper body higher. And here is a medium intensity one where, again, I'm balancing on my heel on the foot that I'm balancing on, or I'm holding my weight on, but my other leg is just lifted, and I'm not trying to reach up and touch that other toe. So once again, the booty needs to lift off the ground. If that can't happen, put your hands on something that's higher than your feet. Okay, and then I just kind of gestured here. You could have your hands a little higher if you need to. Do not turn your hands backwards. Definitely not backwards, only forward. Okay, we're going to transition now to working our glutes and hamstrings and back. So I'm balancing on my left heel. I want my booty, you can't see very well because my arms are in the way, but I slid my hand underneath to show that there is space. And I want my booty to lower and lift, but never really touch the ground. So I'm balancing on my left heel, and my right foot is lowering and lifting, but I'm working through my left side glutes, right there on the back of the booty, and the hamstrings down the back of the upper leg there, and into my low back. So I'm doing the other side now, around 10 on each side. Make it as intense as you can. Holding your weight on that heel is going to intensify things. All right, this is a little bit easier. Again, I'm balancing on my heels. I do the bridge, just that lift and lower, all balancing on my heels with both legs. I think you can see below my arm that my booty does not go all the way down to the ground. It always is above, and then I lift it higher. So I lift, lower, extend, down. Lift, lower, extend. And I'm going to do 10 on each side once again. Now for the easiest version, which is just a bridge. Lift, lower, and my booty does just lightly touch the ground on this one because it's easier to do. But we want to engage the back side of the body as much as possible here. So really squeeze it. You could balance like I am now and still use just use both legs. Lastly, I have a bicycle. I try to drop my heels down low, keep my elbows kind of back. Even though they come forward, they are staying back more than they would if they were crunched up in front. Keep the abs pulled in tight towards your back. I tap my belly there. Don't pull on your head. You want to keep space between your chin and your neck. You can see the space between my chin and my neck. I always keep it that way. And we want to recruit as many of our abdominal muscles as we can. This is arguably one of the best exercises for that. A little bit easier would be just a crunch. Again, not pulling on the head. Notice the space between my chin and my neck. My belly should be pulling in towards my spine. I don't want to have it pooch out. I'm trying to contract those muscles, but I don't want them to pooch out. Crunches can get a bad rap sometimes, but they are still effective at engaging muscles in the core, and you don't want to just only do those, but there's nothing wrong with them. Good grief. Be doing them carefully like I've described. Here, I'm just going to do my sorry little practice at a back bend. Here's where I'm like, oh my word, I'm getting so flexible. So I decided to video it and notice that I need to work a lot harder. I can do the splits and I can do different things, but back bends are not a strong point. Anyway, I hope you guys have a great day. I hope you have a fabulous workout, and I'll see you again soon.